Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Shoe Podcast, the only sneaker podcast with a sinus infection. Your co-host, Ryan Landry.
Your co-host, Tanner Young.
Yeah, under the weather.
Right there.
As it were.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, well, yeah.
Yep.
It's raining a lot, so.
I'm under the weather and I'm under the heat advisory all at the same time, I'll tell you.
Make it make sense. How is it still reaching almost 100, yet it's overcast?
Mother Nature, how do you do it? How do you do it?
It's punishment for all the crawfish boils. That's what it is. Because I'll tell you what,
I feel like pay for it. We got to pay for our sins somehow. Yeah.
They're like, oh, it just rained 10 minutes ago. Well, what if it's beaming hot 110 degrees and you got to go outside? Doesn't feel so good to be steamed, does it?
I have become the crawfish. Yeah. You walk a mile in my claws and then get back to me. Okay.
Yeah. Do you hope they season the water, or after you're deceased, they season you?
I feel like they got to do it while I'm in the water, you know?
Make it worth it.
After it's just on the outside of the shell. I'm not eating the shells.
No. Well,
sorry.
Some people
do you? For the protein?
I don't know.
Talk to me about shoes. How are you doing? How was your 4th of July? You don't have to incorporate shoes, but just get me off the eating the shells, please.
Fair enough. 4th of July, real quiet this year. Really loved it. Rain helped. Went to, man, you know what was nice? Went to my parents' house. Was on my granny's porch. Storm rolled in. Got to watch a storm roll in. Haven't done that in years. Sat on the porch. It was great. Rain kind of stopped. Went little light drizzle. I said, Boogie, guess what we're doing? We're going swimming. We go swimming in the rain. No thunder.
Okay. You knew I was about to get on. You knew I was about to get on.
It was one of those like real good like summer rains. Just kind of like sun's a little bit out. No thunder. Just a nice little. And let me tell you what. Loved it. I spent hours in the pool
out there.
And it was great. Hey, run me a plate of cheese real quick. Go inside, run me a plate of cheese. It was great. I had a great 4th.
That sounds like a great time.
Yeah. What about you?
It was nice. We were
you crossed state lines.
We crossed state lines. Yeah. We were up in Chicago visiting my wife's side of the family. Had a great time with them there. Her aunt lives in a neighborhood that like does not just the neighborhood, the whole city does a 4th of July parade. But she lives on the main street that it rolls through. So every year for them, it's a big event. Front row, we're out there on the lawns with chairs. And my parents went as well. So it was a lovely time getting all the families together.
I was seeing that, you know. I'm glad that, you know, we got the melting pots going on.
Love it. Love it.
On the 4th. How many dogs you slammed down?
I only slammed one. Yeah. Well, hold on now. I only slammed one. So it's funny that you asked that. There's a park, like a public park near her aunt's house, that after the parade, they do a big festival there, like band, food vendors, everything like that. And the park district hands out free hot dogs. Now, shout out to, this is my sister-in-law's girlfriend, had a theory that the kids, the employees who work for the park district, get to go home when the dogs run out, hot dog speeda. Because when we walked up to the booth, they're free hot dogs, by the way, which is sweet perk. But they walked up, they tried to hand me 4 hot dogs at once. And I was like, no. I don't need 4 hot dogs. Like, I'm not running to the Nathan's contest after this.
Yeah.
I'll just take 1 to start. So
small dogs, medium dogs, big dogs.
Regular sized dog. Regular sized dog. Yeah.
You didn't want to, I probably could have, I would have.
I probably could have done at least 2, but her aunt and their family does food throughout the whole day at the house. So it's like, by the time you get there, you're not exactly hungry. You're eating a hot dog kind of just out of like patriotism, if nothing else. To that note, I've started my own tradition. I get a bomb pop every year, red, white, and blue. I have a bomb pop. So good.
These colors don't run.
Well, they do when the sun's out.
Oh, that's true. Down your hand too.
Clip it. That's a bar. That's a quick bar right there. Yeah.
Dang. Probably more American to get sticky from the red, white, and blue. I didn't like saying it. I'll be honest.
Probably more American to get sticky sounds like a Kid Rock lyric. I'll tell you right now. Either Kid Rock or Uncle Kracker are going to be in your DMs after this episode. Be like, hey, can I use that for a song?
Yo, that one Uncle Kracker song though, slapped.
The rest of his views, not so much.
Oh, really? Well,
yeah.
He is Uncle Kracker. I guess that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. So, shoes, huh? Should we talk about shoes?
Hey, let's not only talk about shoes. Let's give them some medals.
That's right. That's what we're here to do tonight. We are looking at the best sneakers of 2024 so far. But Shoe Podcast, all the other sneaker media outlets did that 2 weeks ago. Shut up. We're on vacation. All right.
Yeah.
We were sick. We were tired. We were by ourselves watching children. Some of us were by ourselves watching dogs. You heard her itching in the last episode.
Look,
full-time job.
I'll be honest. After having a kid and having a dog, they're not drastically different. Okay?
You think people are going to come at you in the comments for that?
I mean, there's some differences, but as a parent to a child, they're not drastically different.
I could only put one of them in the kennel. I'll tell you right now.
That dog's still waking up, getting into some mischief. You got to keep an eye on that thing.
Yep,
okay,
you do.
It's not a cat. Now, yeah, if you got cats, let's be honest, that's a different story. I mean, you go out of town for a week, you cut up with a bag of food, fresh litter. That cat's gonna be fine.
Help yourself.
That cat is gonna be fine.
Yeah. Anyways. We're here to talk about the best sneakers of 2024 so far. I keep trying to say 2024 because I'm doing 2024 so far, but
gotcha. I like it.
Oh, there you go. 2024. Yeah. How was putting your list together? Was it relatively easy or difficult for you to pick what stood out so far this year?
It was, I'd say overall not bad.
Okay.
I think some of the things I knew most of my list.
Yeah.
When it came down to, which is, I mean, obviously always a tough one, coming down to like your number one, like what is going to be the gold?
Sure.
And I think it was just one of the things where I was like, okay, what are some things that I just like? My big thing is, what would I want to buy? What would I purchase? And then of the things that I would purchase, what would be like the coolest thing that I purchased?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what helped me categorize them. It wasn't hard to think of my top 3 plus an honorable mention.
Yeah.
But once you get into the nitty gritty, I was like, and then I guess it also helped, like, how much did I talk about this shoe? How much whenever we were going through our list? That's kind of what happened. But really the biggest thing was like, what would I spend money on? And what would I be the most hype spending money on?
Good criteria. Yeah.
What about you? I know my man loves his categories.
Number 1, number 2 were pretty easy for me. Those have been, I think, pretty like easy, hands down for me so far this year.
Okay.
3, an honorable mention, a little more difficult. I think we've said a number of times this season that I think this is the year so far that I've bought the least amount of shoes this far into the year. Just, I don't know if it's me getting older and slowing down or just what's come out is not resonating with me as much, but this has just been the year that the least amount has excited me so far. But that, to that point, that's why 1 and 2 were so easy, because like the stuff that stood out. I will say this episode is the first time we've done one of these of the year lists where I have dialed back, my own self-imposed criteria of of my own rules that I'm adhering to for some other reason, you know, where I'm like, we as Shoe Podcast, there's got to be like a method to this, and like we got to be able to like in 5 years now look back on this list and stand by it. Here's what I liked. And what I would want to wear. Yeah. And I'm in that direction. There's still a little bit as we go through it that I'll be like, I feel like this deserves to be talked about, but we'll get to it when we get to it.
Okay. It's our list, darn it.
Listen, listener, I'm going to tell you right now, our list that we're about to walk you through, there's not much overlap with any of the other sneaker media lists that have been out there yet, but that's why you come here, right? We're a little different from them. That's right. Fresh take, everybody. Speaking of, kick us off, my man. Honorable mention, not quite enough to land on the podium. Where are we at?
So it's pretty. Okay. And that's really what made me like it. Okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty to look at. Cool collab. Okay. We like that. We like a good collab. Classic silhouette. And even better about that classic silhouette height might be going down a little bit.
Ooh.
That's going to be the Nike SB Dunk Low and Futura.
Wow.
I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
That is pretty.
It's a good looking shoe.
It is a good looking shoe. It is a fun looking shoe, which I think fits perfectly with Dunks. I mean, we talk about that all the time. I think it's just such a great collab. And what is great is that the Dunk hype is going down. I mean, obviously for this,
bit of an exception.
It's gonna move, but that's usually almost any collab.
Sure.
But we are seeing a little bit of a slowdown, especially for like some of those general releases when it comes to Dunks. they're not immediately flying off the shelves like the collabs are. So I was like, man, I love it. Honorable mention because with that coming off the Dunk hysteria, you kind of have that kind of feeling of like, I've seen it so much that I don't really, I'm kind of tired of it. But like this one came around, you were like, I was like, I really like this one. It also reminded me, it did give me a lot of was it the flea markets?
Another Dunk?
Yeah.
Similar in color palette to the Crenshaw skate clubs you might be thinking of.
Maybe. But if I'm going to be honest, what's keeping it to the honorable mention is that outsole.
Oh, okay. That was my question here. Cause I know what's on the rest of your list. And I think I was a bit surprised, and I would not be surprised if the internet comes at you with pitchforks that this is honorable mention and not top 3, but that's personal matter with you because of icy outsoles.
Icy outsole, don't get me wrong. Fresh out the box.
Beautiful.
You can't touch it.
Yep.
You're not touching it. However, first you put it on your foot, you better have mopped them floors, vacuumed them carpets, because
I hope you got a Roomba. I'll tell you right now.
That speck of dust is getting drilled into that outsole. But like I said, just a very cool collab on a great silhouette. It's beautiful to look at. And even down to the laces, just two-tone color gradient. We've really been on an ombre effect.
Ombre boy
this
summer.
Year.
That's it.
So that's what had it at my honorable. What do you think about this? I mean, I know you said mildly controversial.
It's good. It's only controversial that it's not higher, but I do think probably if a lot of people were doing top 10, or if at the end of the year you had to do top 10, this at number 4 would not be crazy. So I think there's context to it. There's context to it for sure. This is one that definitely has grown on me the more that I've seen it. Not to the point that I necessarily am wishing I had a pair or wishing I'd even tried to get a pair, because I didn't. Because I don't think it's something I'd wear that much. But the more I've seen it, the more I've come to appreciate that. It's a pretty looking shoe. It's a good looking shoe.
Absolutely. Well, thank you.
Not mad at it.
Soft launch to the list.
You got to start somewhere.
A good little opener. So I've kind of opened the doors, Ryan. What are your little toesies peeking behind there?
Honorable mention here. This is one that I want to love more, and I'm hoping I will come to love more if and when they do future colorways here. But this was highly anticipated, I think not by myself, but a lot of people. And that was the first sneaker collaboration between Salehi Bembury and Crocs on the Polex Juniper. Specifically, this guava colorway was the first iteration here. Salehi and Crocs, right? They've done plenty of clogs and slides before, but this was the first actual sneaker that they did together. And the thing that's keeping it at honorable mention and not up at number 3 is just that so far there's not been a colorway that's really resonated with me yet. I think last year and this year we've started to see Salehi, J-Tips, Action Bronson just introduce some pretty interesting colorways, stuff that you might not think goes together, but kind of actually does. And I think this is this ties together pretty well here, but it's still just a bit much for, I think, what I would wear on a regular basis there. So it's an honorable mention for me because I'm holding out hope that by the end of the year, another colorway comes out that's just a little bit more dialed in, so that, the funkiness of the shoe and the outsole can be the thing about it. I don't necessarily need a funky colorway to it as well.
Good point. I think I do like that kind of mindset, is the look that Salehi has done with Crocs is what makes the shoe. And I think we see the success with the clogs that they've done, because they've done very muted colors. That do very well because it's a unique look. This silhouette is tough for me because I guess maybe to your point, I may just need the right colorway. The design that Salehi Bembury has done with the clog, I'm I get it, because Crocs and the clogs is kind of they're jokey. They're on the cuff. They got some of the humor. And then it also kind of has like the same thing with Dunks. You can, the colorways fit because of the characteristics of the shoe and the stories behind the shoe. But seeing the transition from kind of the clog to the sneaker, I don't see the vision just yet.
Okay.
And I think that might be the colorway. But I do agree with you in that this colorway, it does oddly work.
Yeah, it's strange, but it's weird. Does. Yeah,
it is weird. But I look at it, I'm like, that's not terrible,
right?
And I think there's enough colorways that break this up. Kind of like with that clay and the brown and the dark. So I do like it. So I do kind of agree with you. I think a good colorway may be one of the things where you look at it and you go, oh, okay,
yeah.
And this almost looks like would I have it as like a daily driver or like pull it out a lot? Probably not.
Yeah.
But boy, let me tell you what, you're heading on a hike.
This is it.
And you just want to flex.
I need that grip, that traction.
This would be like the first time whenever I saw this, I was like, boy, you get a hiker influencer. I'm hitting the Appalachian Trail. Sponsored by Soleil.
Soleil, he's a big hiker himself. So yeah, it makes sense.
I see it in this. Yeah, I think a good honorable mention here. I think this is a good honorable mention. It's just, I think, tied to one of those things where it's like time will tell of it's weird now, but in the future, is it like, oh, okay, I get it. I get why you did this. Or in the future is going to be like, nope, that was weird. And it still is weird. So
it's one that I've strangely not seen on anyone else's list, which I think is interesting because I'm pretty sure they all sold out, and I don't know if maybe that speaks more to the quantity of the run that they did, but I remember there being a lot of buzz around these when the first leaks of images came out to when the release happened. But since then, it just seems it's been a bit quiet, not many people reminiscing over them. So keeping those fingers crossed, more colorways by the end of the year, something that resonates with me a little bit better.
I think so. I mean, again, if we've seen what, Soleil Binberry and Crocs have done, they
can do it.
Expect a lot of colorways.
That's right. Yeah. All right. Moving up to the podium, our first entry here, third place, your pick, the bronze. Walk us through it.
This was my first hard choice. My hard choices, I think, came down to really 3 and 2. And I really could be swayed, I think, depending on the night of rest I got or the deliciousness of the coffee I just brewed in the morning. I could be swayed to swap these.
Or the night of rest I didn't get. Kids, am I right?
Ugh.
Parents sound off.
It was 10:30 before he went to bed. I mean, dude, I'm tired.
I got work in the morning. Yeah. Go ahead.
So, this one, I've just been really digging this colorway, and I think I really just need to bite the bullet, which why this had to at least make my top 3.
Okay.
I've really been digging this colorway. I've really been digging this brand. I've really been digging this silhouette. Enough leading you down a dark hallway. I'm flipping on the nightlight. I'm talking a New Balance 550, the sea salt pack, specifically this lovely little marsh green right here.
There you go.
I have been talking about this white and green colorway a lot. It's such a simple look. It just looks very classic. I loved the kind of like a patina yellowed midsole that they have with this. I'm a huge fan of that. I think giving me some laces that match that, doing a coffee dye, something like that, I think also looks good. I also just feel like this colorway is a good colorway that looks great, fresh, and then with some serious wear, I think still looks really good. As long as you keep it somewhat clean, but the creases and the occasional scuff to it here and there, I think would look really good with this shoe as well. I think New Balance has been doing some spectacular things in the past couple of years. I'm loving this 550.
Yeah,
it is just a great look. Honestly, the whole sea salt pack that they did, I think there's 3 colorways within this. There's rather than green, I think it's like a black and then maybe a blue. So real simple, real clean. And that is, I think, kind of what solidified this as my third place, is that it's just a real simple shoe. It's a little clean shoe. I think this would be something that like I could see as like a daily driver for me, on a weekend, taking it on a trip, don't have got limited luggage space. This is going to go with a lot of outfits.
That's for sure.
And I think that's what really led me to being like, I think this is a great third place. One, I don't really think a lot of people with this silhouette are, super hype about it, which
550 is cool right sense. Now. Cool.
But I just, like I said, I don't know what it is. I think this New Balance with this white and green, I'm a sucker for 'em. It's like put corduroy on some, just a cold rainy day with a warm blanket. Talk about, man.
All right.
Cozy up in this bad boy.
I'm happy for you on this one. Okay. Oh, I'm happy for you. This is not something that was on my radar at all. I think if you'd asked me, I could have guessed this came out anytime within the last 4 years. I was a bit surprised to see this on your list, but if you love it, that's all that matters. And I'm happy for you.
And really, I think it's just silhouette colorway. We really got it.
It's a good silhouette. It's a good colorway. Top 3 of the year so far. A big praise.
Big praise. You know what I mean? But hey, we're halfway through the year. Who knows what November Tanner's going to be feeling? Okay. But July Tanner is feeling a 550 right now.
All right. Anything could happen.
Okay. You hear that, New Balance? Anything can happen.
The door's open.
Play your cards right. That's right.
Ball's in your court.
That's right. I'm peeking through the doorway, but now my hand and my head are kind of out there. What's going on? Oh, Ryan, who's knocking on the door for you?
Third place for me, this was a tough spot. I went back and forth a few times. Some of the other shoes I considered for this spot, the Nike Air Max Thunder Canyon Gold that's coming out this year. Caught me by surprise how much I actually liked it, which, listener out there, quick shout out, quick plug. Stay tuned. We got the unboxing video. It might be live by the time this came out, or it might be out soon. Either way, check the channel. We'll have the unboxing video soon.
Check the outsole.
Outsole. Okay, not to get on a tangent here. Outsole, one of my favorite details about the shoe. I love this outsole. The other thing I love, rolls up on the toe, that little rugged touch. Why is it? It got no business looking that rugged, but it do.
And I like it.
You'll notice in that unboxing video, I'm wearing exactly what I'm wearing today. I just processed in my head, I should have changed clothes for this episode so that it doesn't so bad. Whatever. No one else paying attention. Easter egg. Real ones are going to catch it. I consider that. I also actually considered the Travis Scott Jumpman Jack for a minute. Another silhouette that like, I don't think deserves a ton of praise, but another one of those ones that like, the more I look at, I'm like, not too bad looking. Not incredibly groundbreaking for silhouette together. But anyways, where we ultimately arrived at, and this is a bit of old habits die hard that like, I feel like this needs to be talked about, is the Adidas Anthony Edwards AE1. Specifically, I like the Stormtrooper colorway. This is where it breaks my rules of like, this is just stuff that I like and I want to wear.
Yeah.
The AE1's not really something I want to wear all that casually. And from what I've seen both online and in person, I feel like I don't see a lot of people casually just like wearing this out and about for their day. I think there's a lot of people hooping in it who like love the performance benefits of it, but like, personally, I've not seen a lot of people just casually wearing this. I would honestly love to hear from anyone in the comments if like wherever your corner of the world is, people are wearing these out and about daily. I would love to know that, because I gotta believe that they are. The fanfare and hype around these online is like so grand for them to only be worn to play basketball in. I gotta imagine that like it's getting worn somewhere, but I just haven't seen it.
Probably. I know I've seen a lot of people talk about like how hard these would have gone in like that 2015, 2016 era. And it also could just be, I think like, I mean, Anthony Edwards as, the only thing, that I think majority, everybody is going to know him for is, him as an athlete or his online presence. Seems like a great dude. Like, just it literally like every interview is like, I am a fan who is also just really good. And hey, shout out to, Ant for making it to the Olympic team.
There you go.
So that's great. I think this is to me, I think this is a really good third place. I guess our third place is kind of, like could have maybe been a good honorable mention.
Yeah.
In the sense, but I think in the sense of no one's really talking about it as much as I think they really should, because it is a beautiful performance shoe that probably could look really good as a sneaker. I mean, I think Wale was rocking them, but
I believe
that man do?
What can't Wale do?
And I think just the
go ahead
internet moment of this shoe is, I think, also like big enough to put it as a third place.
Yeah. The other thing I loved about the internet moment and all the ad campaigns they did around this, they did some of the greatest ad campaigns of like kept the receipts, and like, the first ad campaign they did where they were pulling all the other shoes out of the bag from like other like signature silhouettes from like Jordan Brand and stuff, and like dissing on them. Like, it was some great advertising that like felt very 90s-ish, of just like brands not afraid to take shots at other brands. So
yeah,
all those things combined, again, for me, makes this like a third place of like, I think when we look back, this goes to that criteria of like, in 5 years, if we look back at 2024 and like what were the big sneakers that like defined that year, I think this one goes down as one of those ones of like, yeah, the AE1 came out that year and like that was a big moment for sneakers.
Agreed.
That being said, that rule goes out the window going forward. Going forward, we're just getting into what does he like. Speaking of, what do you like for silver? What's taking your second place?
Something, I think sometimes when people get a silver medal, the crowd's kind of like taken aback. Maybe they thought deserved gold, or were surprised that they did so well that they got to silver. Okay. And they're just happy that they got there. This one was, I think, the latter for me.
Ooh.
Crept up from behind the pack.
Ooh.
Something that I have been noticing. Something that my extremely talented co-host has been chirping about. And call it Stockholm syndrome, call it beauty, but gosh darn it, I'm riding the dragon on this one. And I can see this being a beautiful daily wear for it. And that is going to be the Nike Zoom Vomero 5, the Synth 72.
One of the best years to do it,
Hey, what? I don't know what was going on in 72, but my parents do.
Shout out, Mom. Hit the comments down below. What was going on in 72?
1972. What was the moms up to?
Yeah. Yeah.
And this one I knew, and I almost went with another white and green colorway.
That man got a type. That man got a type. I
do.
Yeah,
I do. So it was the Vomero 5. It was a part of the Masters.
Oh, that was a good
pack.
One.
Yeah. Which came out a good while after the Masters. So I guess kind of weird.
It's hard to know when it's going to happen every year. They're sitting there waiting, like, is it this weekend?
Is it? What if we just release a shoe for the next 6 weeks? A part of the pack. So instead of tying together the white and green, I tied together the yellow to midsole.
Okay.
Your boy's got a type. And I really like this colorway. I think the kind of like all white silver upper does a great job of that navy cage coming through. You could really see it. The check stands out beautifully, and that yellow midsole is enough to break everything up and really shows that deep, dark navy colorway that they had. So I just love the different use of colors that they have in this one. This one definitely something that I would right now realistically could see it, second, third. It could creep up.
Wow.
I'm so close. I should just bite the bullet and get a Vomero 5 from all the hype that you have talked about it.
Yeah.
And especially for, the type of job that I have where I am on my feet and I am moving a lot, and just hearing the stability, support, the comfort of the shoe.
Yeah.
I just need to bite the bullet and get it and just experience the joy that is the Vomero 5. But this colorway, once I saw it, I don't know if it was just that yellow midsole, but I was like,
yeah,
this is good. And then another coworker of mine, shout out Habib, he's got some Vomero 5s that he wears, and he talks.
We're closing in on you.
Them well. Yeah. So I am surrounded by the Vomero 5, and eventually I will end up picking up a pair.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think, like I said, this is one of those that kind of like how we've been talking, it hits the kind of like somewhat Y2K runner
definitely
aesthetic, but not like beating it over the head that some other silhouettes do. So I think that's really great. It's got kind of like a dad shoe like vibe to it, which I really like, but kind of like,
cool dad.
Like, you're a young dad.
Yeah.
This is what I would wear and then graduate to a daily driver of the Air Monarchs.
Okay.
So lovely second place. I think this one's great. I guess kind of under the radar. I know a lot of people, but I know there's some big hype on Vomero 5. So
you are for sure chaotic good putting 2 GRs in your best of 2024 so far. And I got to tell you, the only thing better than that is you going, I might got to bite the bullet on these, as if like these are the 2 most sold out collabs of the year. It's like they're 2 GRs. I think you're biting the bullet is just going to a champs. Like,
that's it.
I think it's pretty attainable. Yeah.
Yeah. Biting the bullet. Yeah. It's not like, I'm gonna have to break the bank. No, it's just buying it.
I think your bullet is a Nerf dart at this point. Like, I don't think it's too bad of a bullet to be biting. Yeah.
Well, look, that 401k doesn't build off of Jordan 1s. Okay.
Damn, if I don't feel that right now,
my ROI cannot be up there.
Do I want to retire or do I want to be fresh? I can't do both. Yeah.
So
I was surprised to see 2 GRs on your best of 2024 list so far, but that is something I appreciate and admire about you. The man's not apologizing that he's not choosing the sold out collabs of the year, right? This is what he likes. This is what he likes. That
was my main criteria is, what do I just want to put my little toesies in?
Yeah.
All right.
For the hype beast, I'm here. Don't worry. Here I am, everybody.
Yeah. I'm not open. The door's open. I haven't invited you in yet, but the door's open. I'm listening to your pitch.
What I got to say, I'm like a Jehovah's Witness that's very persistent right now. You got a crack in the door. I got my ankle in that crack.
Yeah. I'm holding the pamphlet. You know what I mean? I'm looking at it.
I got to fan myself with something. It's hot out here. Yeah.
Whew, Safi, sure.
Second place, silver medal, best sneakers of 2024 so far. He got it right.
Speak on it.
For me, is the Nina Chanel Avni and Air Jordan 3, that bi-coastal canvas suede uppers in that pretty green. Wow. Best detail on these, though, chenille stitching on the back tab of the Nike Air logo.
Wow.
Chef's kiss. These are gorgeous. These, I am surprised I don't see these at the top of more people's sneaker of the year list. I know it's ironic to say because it's not at the top of mine, but like, I think a lot of people don't even necessarily have them in their top 3, which for me is just like, this is taking it for me. It's just such a good looking shoe. We've talked about it a number of times on this show, but just to reiterate, the number of times that Jordan 3 collabs have happened, and then the even smaller subset of that and they've been good enough for us to remember and want. It's a small group, and this one hits that mark really well.
Good point.
So I had a chance to buy a pair. I ended up not buying a pair. I just don't know how much. Place? Yeah, it's a bit of that, and just a bit of like, I love what I love in first place so much, and you already know it, and the viewers are going to know it by the time we get to it. But this is one of the shoes that's like, it's beautiful to look at. For me, it's not something that I know I can put a lot of outfits together with. Like, it's not even that crazy, but it's just like, it's such a particular shade of green that it's like, if I got to think about it that much, what I've got at number 1 is better for me.
Okay.
Sorry, and I should say the one thing that kind of unsold me on these, leather sock liner. Leather sock liner, just a tough sell, especially in Louisiana where it's hot so much of the year. You know, it's like the number of times I got a pair of the Notre Dunks, the high dunks, and those have leather sock liners. That's a winter shoe, you know, like the summer months where I'm going to wear that, it's tough. So, beautiful design detail, like very premium, luxurious feel, just probably not the right audience for it.
Sure.
These are beautiful though. You got any thoughts on these?
I love that you love them.
Ooh.
I love that you love them.
Oh, but not for him.
I don't get it. It's the, I've never been a big fan of the like one color.
Okay.
Shoes. That's been something that I've been pretty consistent on of having that, and which is interesting. Green is my favorite color.
Well, and I will say in these defense, I would normally agree with you, right? If it was literally monochrome, tongue to bottom, you know, midsole, outsole, laces, eyelets.
Yeah.
This gets broken up. Shades. It gets broken up with both the green and the white. And to your point, the shades, the different textures on there, the different materials breaks it up and separates it a little bit more. To your credit, it's still very green.
And I guess maybe that's it. I think a lot with what you were saying, which is a tough shoe to put together with an outfit, with it being like an all green shoe. Now, first thing came to mind, all Gatorade fit, pop off.
Hang on.
Pops off. This kind of pops off. I don't know why, but it does.
Gatorade cut the check.
So, and I guess it is tough with a 3 because I'm like, man, of the Jordans, got to be the most comfortable. But then I think it's so tough because having black cement 3s.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, if I'm going to wear a Jordan 3, I'm going to wear this.
Okay.
Which I don't have to think about. And I guess that's where I think really the biggest thing for me is all green that goes with it. And what do I wear with this?
I think
kind of look.
That's why I like it, right? Because I have black cement 3s and I have original white Amamineer 3s. And this feels like, you know, it's not on the fence close to either of those to where I'm like, well, if I want this, I might wear that. Whereas like, you know, when I had Bread 4s, I sold them because I have black cement 3s. And I'm like, color wise, very different silhouette, obviously, but color wise, if I'm going to do one,
that makes sense.
So a very good shoe would not be, I'll take that back. I would be surprised if this goes higher on my list by the end of the year because what's in number 1, unless I fall out of love with it for some reason. But that being said, take us to your number 1.
Wow.
Gold medal. So, we're there.
Gold medal. Again, criteria. What would I want to buy?
Yeah.
And what would it be the most hype about? So finally, like Ryan put a spotlight on, got out of the general releases. Champs, move over. Foot Locker, get out of my face. Any other shoe companies that are middle of the mall, don't look at me. I'm going exclusive.
It's a shoe that not only has heart, but it has soul.
Oh, that is foreshadowing and a spoiler alert. That's right. I'm hitting you with an Asics and Kith collab.
Ooh.
Look at that. It's a little gel light 3. The sole? I mean, first off, this is just...
But for the audio listeners, Seoul, Korea.
Yeah,
Seoul. You got to remember we got an audio only fan base as well. Yeah, Seoul, Korea.
That's right. Yeah. It's so pretty.
It's gorgeous.
It's so clean. I love the materials that they use for this paneling. It is, I think, honestly, you know what? I'm going to say it, which actually might be a good episode.
Hang on. On the edge of my seats, ladies and gentlemen.
I think Kith and Asics are the best collab that you can get.
Whoa.
I'm saying it. I know.
You're saying that because on the heels of X-Men last year?
There you go.
Wow.
We got that. let's not forget the salmon. Okay.
The salmon, can't forget it. Yeah.
So I know it's controversial, and that's definitely going to be a personal opinion. And I think there are a lot of great designers, a lot of great collaborations out there, a lot of great sneaker companies. But I think me personally, I think when Keith and Ace get together, it's just that dude. I mean,
match made in heaven.
500-yard bombs out the field is what they're doing. And then I think with it, just another great example of that is this shoe right here.
Yeah.
The Gel Light 3 is I think a crazy iconic silhouette. Extremely recognizable.
Mm-hmm.
Probably ASIC's best. When it comes to the silhouette. Yeah. Great material, phenomenal collaboration right here. We got some of that exclusive hype that goes with it to just build that allure up. So, it just I had to put this at the top of my podium.
Yeah.
Listening to its national anthem while second place and third place, pretend like they're listening.
Like they're not crying on the inside right now. Yeah,
exactly.
This is one that is like on paper, sneakerheady and hype beasty, but in the real world was not a ton of buzz about this one. And maybe that's because it was I think it was a store exclusive when they opened their location. So like maybe it just didn't have the reach because like a lot of people couldn't actually get it, but like a truly beautiful shoe, just like really well done. Oh man, you start putting that long hairy suede on any shoe, it's going to be hard to not look good,
Exactly. You're not wrong.
Yeah,
you're not wrong.
It's a good number one. I'd be curious to see if anything dethrones it for you by the end of the year here.
That's going to be an interesting.
If your Vomero since 72 can creep up and take it. So talk about he gets a pair, he starts feeling that comfort. Could be anything.
Yeah. Sorry, on foot. All right, bud.
All right.
Doors open. I'm reading the pamphlet. I'm just now. We're sitting in the living room. Okay.
We're sitting in the
kettle's
living room.
on. Kettle's on.
We got tea roaring over the stove right now.
All right. I'm listening to your pitch. Hey, maybe you sway me. You know what I mean?
First place. Oof. Best sneaker of 2024 so far.
What?
January came out swinging early in the year. This one did, right?
Been on his brain?
It had been on my brain for a hot minute now. Y'all heard the fanfare before it came out. You were with me in the trenches on the Instagram stories, play by play as it was coming. You know it. You love it. Almost missed it. You see the claw? You see the claw there? Almost missed it. That is the undefeated and Nike Air Terra Humara in the cargo khaki colorway. This shoe still, you know what this shoe is? It's on the tag right there. Undefeated. It's number one. This is
drop a bomb on it.
I've been loving these and wearing these. And one of the things I love most about them is that I'm pretty sure you can still pick them up from Undefeated's website right now. Probably not a full size run, but like it's such a good looking shoe. Look, it's covered in my dog's hair. I don't know if you saw that. It's such a good looking shoe. It can be worn with a lot. Yeah. But it's like, it's cool enough to be cool, but it's not so overhyped and blown out of the water that you can't get a pair and they're reselling for like $500. It's like, if you think this is a cool shoe, you can go get it and wear it.
Can get it. Wow.
Yeah. I love these so much.
I think I'm just I'm so blown away from the
toss.
Catch.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it.
I know you weren't. Yeah. Anthony Edwards a little quiet right now seeing that pass, I'll tell you. Saw that claw grip come in there.
USA Olympic basketball team, however, is
did I miss the deadline?
Their lineup?
Did I miss the deadline? Tell me right now. Yeah.
I think for that action, they may make a squeeze. You know what I mean?
Might fly me out to Paris real quick.
I'm about to say they might put you on the plane.
All right. If nothing else, I just want to be on the PJ. That's all I'm asking.
Hey, come on. What's the ride back like? Jeez.
So yeah, anyways, I still love these. Surprise, no surprise.
Yeah.
I've talked about it a million times, so I won't go long on today's episode, but again, the Nina Chanel Jordan 3s right there underneath it, two different flavors, right? It's two different things. Kind of depending on what you like, what you want. But for me, I'm such just like a olive green and like those taupe and black colorways are just like such my thing to begin with. And then you pair it with the ACG-ish outdoor vibes for someone that spends a lot of time in Excel and like driving to get coffee. No brainer.
Yeah.
No brainer. I love these. I got the white and brown pair as well. I love those. I'd go a little overboard if I got the black pair as well, but the black pair also good. Yeah.
Hey.
I'm curious to see what comes out later in the year if there's something that I end up loving more than these.
That'll be probably just a different colorway.
Touche. But that's on growth. 2023 Ryan and Pryor would have came on the show and said that silhouette was introduced at the end of 2023. It can't be in your best consideration for 2023. No. Hey, here's a shoe that came out this year that I like that I've been wearing. Number one. There it is.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom. That is on growth.
Before we wrap up here,
making mama proud.
Real quick. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Before we wrap, if you made it this far in the episode, or watchers, if you're on YouTube or Spotify, we forgot to say that earlier, but at this point it's done. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think of our list. Who do you think, whose list maybe better aligns with you? What takes do you think are bad takes? What is your sneaker of the year so far? Leave a comment down below. Let us know. Tanner, I'm curious real quick. Let's end the episode. Ooh. Do you want to look at Complex's best of 2024 so far?
Run it.
All right. And I'm going to hope I have this all set up correctly. We're going to go here. This is all on the fly. All right.
OBS crash.
And TOS and paywall. We got an ad for State Farm there. That's great. Okay. The best sneakers of 2024 so far. Maybe we got to come up with a different title. I didn't realize they were doing that as well. Thumbnail kind of giving it away here, but number 10, Air Jordan 17 Low Lightning.
I don't like it.
Not for me at all, but like there was a good buzz around it. Complex does their list a lot more around my old ways, right? Not saying I influenced them. Sorry, that's a bad way to say it. But like they do it from that standard stance of like, when we look back in 5 years, what are the shoes that defined it? Which for a company of their size, I think is appropriate, is the right way to do it. Anyways.
I guess so.
17 Low Lightning. Number 9, the Action Bronson New Balance 1906R Rosewater. Again, this is one for me that just sometimes colorways, I'm like, I'm not your guy. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm not.
We said that whenever we were looking at this, we love what Action Bronson and New Balance are doing, but this colorway kind of not colors that I'd go with.
Number 8, the Nike Air DT Max 96. I know people were excited about this retro, and I think Deion Sanders is just like a big personality. This is one of those ones that truly, like, I felt like people were excited about the idea of it coming back, and I don't feel like I've seen anyone talk about it since it's been out, or like seen anyone wear it.
He wrapped his cart. Let me tell you what. Gonna keep watching Colorado football. They were terrible last year, but I watched a lot of games.
There you go.
I say terrible. They won more than one game, so they improved.
That's more games than I won last year.
Fair enough. So Deion,
you keep doing your thing. Number 7, Air Jordan 4 Industrial Blue. Fine, good and fine. For me though, this is like now you're getting hypocritical of like your retros from like just OG retros. Where does that fall? For me, I think that's still something I stand by, that like retros of OGs that are just like very true to the original, not in my box, but
nothing new. Yeah. It's like, oh, cool.
Nike Kobe 4 Girl Dad. We talked about this one.
Good one.
Good looking shit. A lot of green.
So
So
if that's silver.
A lot of silver.
I like that Girl Dad's got a pair. That was cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Number 5, the Travis Scott Jordan CJ1 T-Rex, also called the Jumpman Jack. I don't know what we're calling this shoe anymore. Again, the more I've seen it, I've not hated it as much, but I still don't love it. It's just, like, I think when you consider the weight of Travis Scott and Jordan Brand, you would just expect them all to be grand slams, especially for like their first original silhouette together. So when it's not, it's kind of like,
Yeah. I'm sorry. I will never get behind a strap on a shoe.
And funnily enough, that's exactly what I will get behind. That's me right there.
Well,
that's funny. I just saw the article here, by the way, of the CJ1 T-Rex, or maybe it's the Jumpman Jack, or maybe it's going to cut the check. Yeah, we don't know what the shoe's called anymore. All right.
That's true. Yeah.
Number 4, Nina Chanel Avni Air Jordan 3. Deserved. Okay. Well deserved, I would say.
Yeah. Honorable mention.
Number 3, Futura Nike SB Dunk Low. Not surprising. I think,
great shoe.
That's a great shoe. Good looking.
Yeah. 100%.
Number 2, Air Jordan 4 Bread Reimagined.
I think
when I saw them in person, they were not as bad as I thought they were going to be, but this is not a grown on me sneaker, just to be clear. This is still we did not need this,
Yeah. I was like, you want some leather on your Bread 4? And it's like, I mean, I guess, like, fine, but I'm like, number 2?
I think
of the year?
I think a lot of people had a change of heart because they were able to get them and they were more accessible. And that kind of made it more exciting to people. And they were like, oh, this is not, I will, again, admittedly, not as bad as I thought they would be, but that doesn't, for me, swing it all the way into it is good. It's just not as bad.
Yeah.
And then lastly, at the top of the list, the Adidas AE1. I think well deserved. Like, I think when you try to juggle that balance of like, not just retros of OG, something that was actually new this year and had a pretty big splash, the AE1, I think, checks all those boxes for those criteria.
Agreed.
So again, for me, lower on my list personally, because it's not something I would really wear, but I think I put it on the list because it still had impact this year.
I think that's a great way to look at it. And I think having that mindset of, if you would think of the year 2024, what would you call it? And I think this is one of the things. Oh yeah. When the AE1 came out, that was 2024 for sure.
I think when you specifically think through that lens of in 5 years, when we look back at what was the one, it's hard to imagine in the back 6 months of this year, there's something else that's going to come out that is a bigger introduction that's as widely and well received as the AE1. If just through that one lens of, what defined the year, so far, I think this is going to take it. But I would be curious and surprised to see what else. There are more retros happening. I think it's this year that the Black Toe Jordan 1 reimagined that they're talking about that doesn't have the Wings logo, but just has Air Jordan on it. That I think will end up on some people's list. Is there anything else you know of coming out later in the year that you think has a good shot of getting on the list?
Are they redoing the Black Cement 3s this year?
They talked about that's a rumor that's been floating around. I feel like I haven't seen it as like advertised as the Black Toe Jordan 1 has been. Like I feel like I saw it pop up as a rumor, but I feel like I haven't heard as much about it since. So I'm not sure.
I want that rumor to get, because last I saw, it was like the Black Cement 3 would come out in November, which I think is around the time that the Black Toe Reimagined would come out.
Yeah.
Which either is they are doing it, or it gets so hyped and people get talk about that more.
Oh, distracts them, takes them away from it.
Than the Black Toe. I highly doubt that, but a boy.
It's nice to have a dream. It's nice to have a dream for sure.
It's really good to look forward to some things,
Yeah.
Growth of my child. I've seen 3 years.
Black Toe Jordan 1? Hold up.
Hey.
I'm awake. I think Alma Meniere Jordan 3 would be the black colorway that they're doing now, would be another one but it's tough because it's like we already know supposedly what it looks like. I don't know if maybe the mock-ups and early looks are going to be wildly different from the official release. So that's kind of hard to imagine, but I could see that maybe sneaking onto the list. I'm scrolling through sneaker news right now to see kind of what they have rumored for the rest of the year. Air Jordan 3 Black Cement, they do have rumored for November. So potentially.
Who knows?
So we'll see. We'll see what else comes out. Regardless, we'll be back with y'all in a little bit more than 5 months to check in and give you the official end of the year list as to what makes it.
Wow, that was weird to hear.
And that it's just 5 months away.
Yeah.
I mean,
wow.
That'd be December. That'd be early December. So we'll do it later than 5 and some change. But yeah, it's coming up. It's coming up. That's the thing about doing the best of so far. Halfway done. Yeah. Halfway done with the year. 6 months behind us. Work on those New Year's resolutions, everybody, if you had one.
Yeah. Yeah. Or think of next year's.
Just get a jump start on it. Yeah, you got time.
Halfway of 2024.
You got 5 months. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that was your New Year's resolution. Lots of planning for 2025.
My 2024 New Year's resolution was to come up with a 2025 New Year's resolution. Yeah.
Boom. Spoiler alert. We'll update that.
It's gonna
closely.
It's gonna creep up on you. It's gonna be here before you know it. Yeah.
We're trying to let you know now.
Yeah.
Put it in your planner.
Thank you everyone for checking out another episode of Shoe Podcast. You can find us online on social media at Shoe Podcast or on our website, shoepodcast.com. If you want to continue the conversation with us, we have a Discord you can find linked in the episode description down below. Lastly, if you made it this far, thank you so much for listening and watching. If you haven't done so yet, please consider hitting that subscribe, that follow, that like button. All of those things are free, and they actually really help a small little podcast like ours. Leave that comment. Let us know what you thought of our list and what is your best sneaker of 2024 so far. Tanner, what do you got to leave the people with before we go?
You don't have to do big things. You just got to do little things.
I wanted to roll the outro right then and there so bad. Okay. I'm going to tell my boss that tomorrow. I want to see how that goes over.
Hey, if they don't accept it, then you shouldn't accept them.